Thursday. Good Thursday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I am your meteorologist, Jess Peterson, and let's go on and talk about the weather for your Thursday. Hopefully, everyone's had a fantastic Thursday so far. First off, as as we continue off into this Thursday evening, if you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, make sure that you go on and do so. If you also have not hit the share button yet, make sure that you go on and do that as well. Second off, what will we be talking about tonight? We will be talking about obviously the current weather that's going on right now. We will also talk about the the temperatures, rainfall, that stuff for tonight as well, just for tonight's weather. And we talked about temperatures yesterday, so we're not really going to go much in depth with that. We can talk about the drought monitor because the drought monitor actually did just get updated today, and the tropics as well. We have a huge update for when it comes to the tropics, a difference in ensembles. But the drought prediction poll is going into the chat right now. If you don't know, we're going inside of the poll right now for the live chat. First off, obviously the first option being obviously no drought, meaning that the drought has went away. The drought has went away. If you remember last time we had an abnormally dry that was pretty big, took over a lot of the low country, took over a good amount of the PD and parts of the Grand Strand as well. So you have no drought, meaning that the drought is now gone. You also have the abnormally dry shrunk. That meaning that the abnormally dry that we had, it shrunk. Then you have no change. Either the abnormally dry stays large or growing larger. And then finally, we have obviously a full-on drought is now in effect. A full-on drought is now in effect. So that's what I wanted to say there. If you have not gone and put your vote out there, go on and do so. But what's going on right now in terms of the entire state of South Carolina? Nothing going on right now throughout the entire state as we speak. What about the U.S.? We have rainfall that goes on in Florida. Also, we have some severe weather going on inside of Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Montana. And then if we go down here, we have flooding going on from California down into Arizona, into New Mexico, parts of Texas receiving some of that flash flooding. As there are flash flood warnings, actually. Yes, there are flash flood, and we actually even have a severe thunderstorm warning over here for quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts that's moving through Southern California right now as we speak. But for the most part, South Carolina is staying good, so that's good. What about our cloud cover? We do, in fact, have some cloud cover going on inside near the coastal regions from Myrtle Beach over into the low country, like the western low country, and then also inside of parts of the Midlands, getting in on some of that cloud cover, and parts of the upstate. Now, if we go even further into the future, cloud cover as we push this forward, you have cloud cover that goes into the Midlands, goes into the PD, the Grand Strand area, and then once you get into tomorrow, cloud cover continues inside of the coastal regions going up into the upstate, but again, it's staying relatively on the isolated to scattered side. And then as we move even further, you can see all of this cloud cover moving up here into the low country, the PD, and parts of the Grand Strand, most of the Grand Strand for that. And this actually possibly could be some fog. Some fog could potentially be going on as you go into tomorrow morning inside of that coastal region, low country, Grand Strand, and PD area. Now, what about our current temperatures? Current temperatures right now, 77 in Columbia, as well as 75 in Orangeburg, 74 in Somerville, as well as 74 in Georgetown, 74 in Murrells Inland, 72 in Conway, 74 in Myrtle Beach, and even 74 in North Myrtle Beach, 77 in Aiken, and 75 in Greenwood. We also do have around 75 in Charleston, 73 in Greenville, and 73 in Spartanburg and Gaffney, 74 in York and Rock Hill, and even 74 in Anderson. Low temperatures for tonight, 65 in Greenville, 65 in Anderson, as well as 64 in Spartanburg and Rock Hill, 66 in Columbia, and 66 in Orangeburg, 66 in Walterboro, 67 even inside of Moncks Corner, 64 in Kingstree, 67 inside of Georgetown, and 71 in Charleston, 73 in Hilton Head, and 69 in Myrtle Beach. Rainfall for tonight, not going to be much. Not going to be much rainfall at all as you move through the next 24 hours. Hundredths of an inch to a tenth of an inch possible in places like in the upstate, also inside the southern Midlands, and possibly even the central Midlands as well. Can get from a hundredth of an inch to a tenth of an inch. Crazy score for tonight. We're at a 15. We are at a 15, so we're right on the cusp of that mild category. Why are we at a 15? And if you have no idea what the crazy score is, the score that we see how crazy the weather is inside of South Carolina. It's going to stay mostly dry tonight. No flooding, anything like that. It's going to be mild and comfortable, but patchy fog is likely. Light winds and low level moisture, especially in the coastal plains, the eastern Midlands, low country, all those places, favor patchy fog development with visibilities potentially of only 1 to 5 miles. And we just saw that on the cloud map, all of that fog that rose up in the coastal regions, low country, and then the PD and Grand Strand area. But for the most part, it's going to be stable. It's going to be stable. Thunderstorm risk for tonight. Apparently, there's a little thunderstorm risk up there inside the upstate. I don't see any rainfall up there as we move through the rest of tonight, so that might just be there just in case if a shower does somehow get into that area. A thunderstorm is potentially possible. Now, tomorrow, thunderstorms are also possible in Greenville, possibly even into Anderson, the upstate, the very far upstate, like Pickens County, going into Oconee County, and then the western border between us and Georgia. A thunderstorm risk is there as well for tomorrow. Now, Saturday, upstate has a chance for a thunderstorm on Saturday if those showers get going as well. But again, we'll continue to watch for the models to see, will it be isolated showers, storm activity, will it be scattered, will it be widespread? We'll talk about that. No excessive rainfall is expected at this time, so let's go on now and talk about the models. So we're going to start off here at the 9 p.m. start. And you can see, you see like some little green dots here and there by around 10, 11 p.m. Almost like a light drizzle. I'm not really seeing too much from that. High pressure stays over us, and we stay dry all the way until 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Now, if we continue all the way to around 3, 4, 5, 6 p.m., you can see the shower and downpour activity going on in the Midlands, the Low Country, the parts of the upstate, even the Grand Strand area has some rainfall going on. And some of this could, again, potentially be some thunderstorm activity, and some of this rainfall will linger around all the way to 9, 10, 11 p.m. until finally it goes away. So this might hinder. Obviously, tomorrow is Friday night, meaning that high school football games will be going on at that time frame. Meaning that there might need to be just like some rain gear on the side. But from what I've seen from just the actual prediction from the actual National Weather Service, regardless of models, they say that the threat of any sort of rainfall happening is pretty low, only like a 10% chance, for example. For some, maybe even close to a 0% for others. So maybe this is just an outlier. Or we'll just continue to see what happens. Tomorrow. We'll see in the morning as well. Will this continue? Will this grow even more? We'll continue to watch for that, though. But if just continuing even further past tomorrow night, going into Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon looks relatively dry there as well. Now, what about our long-term future? Rainfall goes on inside the upstate, and you can see all that rainfall that pops up there on that Saturday, where we have that thunderstorm risk. And for the most part, things stay relatively dry after Saturday. You might see some more rainfall on the 25th, 26th, 27th potentially. But then those last couple of days of September, the 28th, 29th, 30th, still looks pretty active as you go into the 1st of October. Now, once you get to the 1st of October, it's way too far out to talk about exact specifics, but I will say that it's looking like it could be that active start to October, but things start to calm down as the high pressure takes over a couple of days into October, according to this model right here. So things are kind of crazy, you could say, even though it's going to be more than likely not active for a good amount. But once you get into those last couple of days of September into the first 1 or 2 days of October, it seems to be active through there. So what about the tropics? what about the tropics? We have, right now, obviously the two areas, Gabrielle being this one, 50-mile-per-hour storm. This has no threat to South Carolina. Again, this has no threat to South Carolina. Gabrielle will not give us any impacts in South Carolina at all. Even if you look at rip currents, high surf, you have nothing for tonight. Tomorrow, nothing for tomorrow. So, we're good. We don't have anything to worry about. It is expected to become a hurricane, though. Sometime on Sunday. It could be like late morning on Sunday, or it could be even like earlier. But I mean, it's still going to be a tropical storm according to the actual forecast by 2 a.m. on Sunday. Then 2 p.m. is when it's going to turn to a hurricane. So it could be the 11 o'clock p.m. update, or 11 o'clock a.m. update, or the 5 a.m. or the 8 a.m. update, somewhere on Sunday during those time frames is when this will most likely turn into a hurricane. But that is it for this storm. That's all I really want to say on that. What about this other one over here? You can see disturbance one over here, and this one's a bit interesting. We're going to talk about this in depth right here. But it says a tropical wave along the west coast of Africa is producing disorganized thunderstorm activity. Some slow development of the system is possible over the weekend through the middle of next week, while it moves west to northwest across the eastern and the central tropical Atlantic. So this has a 0% chance of forming over the next 48 hours, but a 20% chance over the next 7 days. So for now, 20% chance of development over the next 7 days. It's relatively low. And if you remember yesterday, I was telling you that this thing will die out, but I said, well, let's wait, see what happens. Let's wait and see what happens. And for the most part, it looks like that waiting possibly could have been the better idea, because if you just go in and look at the euro first, which I'm going to show you the screen right now. If you go on and if I go on and show you the euro first, this is the European one. Move this over here. You can see there goes Gabrielle right here. So Gabrielle's over here, just hanging out over there. Then you have this one system over here, which you don't even see it form until like later, like until like Sunday, it seems to be. And you see just a bunch of low pressures here, kind of just going around into space. You just see them going, to the north, to the west, to the wherever it may go. And you see a couple of low pressures behind it, but you're not seeing anything too organized. Now you have this one little area right here that's just one singular ensemble. I'm not really too concerned on that though. But that's just what the European model says. Now, that's the European one. What about the GEFS? Now the GEFS, this one has a bit more of a different story. You can see all the low pressures start to form here, and you might think, well, then probably will just die out, right? Well, according to the GEFS, this one actually has it going more to the north and west, and actually staying a lot more stable and a lot more active / a lot more confident on this thing actually forming. Now, if you go all the way through to like the next 10 days, you can see obviously it gets all over the place, but the main question here is why in the world is this model right here, the GEFS, so much more confident on this potential system right here actually doing something, while the Euro says it's going to die out, not do anything at all. Now, obviously, I don't have the answer because it's a model, it's a robot AI thing, or most likely it's a robot AI program thing to go on and get all of models ensembles kind of packed in with each other. But it kind of just runs its course and kind of just curves up, kind of like Aaron did, or kind of like how Gabrielle is about to do, and stuff like that. So I'm just going to continue to wait, see what happens with this one. Will it die out by tomorrow? Potentially. But we're still going to watch for it. But that's it for the tropics. That's what I wanted to say there. Before we go on, because let me check real quick and see how many votes we have on the drought monitor. We have a couple, but we can get some more. We have a couple that we can get some more. So we're going to go and talk with the audience now and wait for some more votes to come into the drought monitor prediction. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off, Mr. Chris, he says, good evening, everyone. Had a great day. Went outside and cut grass. I feel better now. That's great to hear. Great to hear that you're feeling better today. Mr. Anthony says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. My Aunt Lula then comes in and says, good evening, everyone. I pray that you had a blessed day. She also says, hello, nephew. When should we get to see our first frost? Now, for the most part, I mean, I can't really tell you specifically. Not even the models that I have. I don't even think they go that far out to a frost. If I go on and check out models real quick, go to the GEFS, go to the shaded temperatures all the way through. I mean, by October the 4th, which is where this model goes out all the way to, it still has temperatures only in the 60s. So the first frost is no time soon. I will say that. The first frost is no time soon. I will let you know whenever we'll get those temperatures down, into the 50s, 40s, 30s, but it's not just in one area. It's going to be, widespread. So I'll let you know when we get to that time frame. But now it's just too far out to tell. Way too far out to tell. And so let's just continue to wait on that. Let's see. We also have Mr. Chris, who says, again, please remember to go hit the like button and the subscribe button to the channel. Also, share with everyone you know. It would be greatly appreciated and helps get the information out to those who need it. Absolutely correct. He's absolutely correct. If you are, then there's 9 people that have tuned in and we only have 6 likes. I know. So if you are a part of that 3 that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. It's free. You can change your mind at any time. He also says 1 day until the weekend. Absolutely. Just got to get through tomorrow and we're done. Trail says, greetings, everyone. Greetings to you. And then Mr. Chris also comes back and said, even if it's 5%, that's a chance. He's absolutely correct as well. 5% chances verify all the time. 5% verifies all the time. Every time we have a marginal risk of severe weather, that's a 5% right there. So, and sometimes, yes, it does verify. So, I would say for sure 5% does verify. But now that is out of the way, we got a couple more votes, but I'm going to wait a little bit longer to get to the drought. Let's talk about the 3 locations outside of South Carolina. Now, you might be asking, what in the world are you talking about the 3 locations outside of South Carolina? That being, obviously, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and then you also do have Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these locations is because we have people from those areas that tune in pretty much every single night. And so that's why we talk about these locations. So let's go on now and get started. Starting off first, we have Raleigh, North Carolina with low temperatures tonight, which let me go in and get it. Low temperature tonight 64, high temperatures tomorrow at 90, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 65. Is there any chance for any sort of severe weather? For now, it looks like no. No chance for any sort of severe weather. What about excessive rainfall? That's another big threat as well. Seems like for now, same thing. No excessive rainfall is expected. So you're good there. Now, what about, obviously, for Philadelphia being the second location that we talk about? Starting off, which I don't know what in the world's going on with my stream right now. Give it a second. Okay, there we go. All right, you have low temperatures tonight at 62, high temperatures tomorrow at 87, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 61. No precipitation is expected at all. No severe weather is expected. And for excessive rainfall, nothing for day 1, nothing for day 2. Same thing with nothing for day 3, nothing for day 4, and obviously nothing for day 5. So for the most part, it seems that we just are pretty quiet right now with those 2 locations right there. Now, Duncan, Oklahoma, that is indeed a different story. Unfortunately, as you have a marginal risk of severe weather for tonight. That is for most likely that would be for damaging winds and damaging hail. But you do have a isolated storm risk for tonight. as that moves through. And then for excessive rainfall, there's actually something on Sunday and Monday. Monday and Sunday, both days, you have a chance for some isolated flash flooding as well. So unfortunately, you have to watch out for that. But other than that, low temperatures tonight for Duncan at 65, high temperatures tomorrow at 90, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 69. We already talked about severe weather there. What's going on in terms of the entire U.S., and then we're about to get to the drought monitor. We're about to. Heavy rainfall and flash flooding will continue across portions of California, the Southwest, and parts of the Southern Rockies. Strong to locally severe thunderstorms and heavy rain will impact portions of the plains and the Mississippi Valley. Tropical moisture is causing heavy rainfall in southeastern Florida, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. Air quality alerts go out for down there, which there's a lot more locations now. Houston, Texas is still included in there. Southern Indiana, including Indianapolis, is included. Cincinnati, Ohio, is included, as well as Columbus, Ohio. Little Rock, Arkansas also has an air quality alert out as well. And then also down here inside of Birmingham, there's an air quality alert out for there. Atlanta also, and then Nashville. All those locations have air quality alerts out for it, being obviously to limit their time outside. But now it's time for the moment that most of us have been waiting for, and that's the drought monitor. Now, if you have no idea what the drought monitor is, it's a monitor that shows what's the current drought conditions going on throughout the state of South Carolina and throughout the entire U.S. in general, and I think even some U.S. territories. But I have my prediction, and I've looked at the past 7 days. You can even go on and look at it yourself. Past 7 days, I've just been, looking, and so far, I'm not really seeing too much rainfall. I see some in the upstate. The upstate wasn't really dealing too much with a drought. But other areas kind of have some rainfall, but not a lot. So, in my opinion, I think that a drought has started. That's my opinion. I think that a drought has started. It's getting warmer. It's getting hotter. And in my opinion, I think that a drought is now there. So without further ado, let's go on and check it out. A drought has indeed started. So, congratulations to me, because I was the only person that picked a drought has started. 43% said that the drought is now gone. Drought/abnormally dry is now gone. 14% said that the abnormally dry shrunk, and 43% said that the abnormally dry stays longer. Nobody said that there was a drought that has started. So I'm the only one that got it correct, unless you just didn't vote. But for all that I know, I'm the only one that got it correct. So go on and applaud myself. But that's all the drought monitor pretty much is. But where's the drought at, though? What counties is it? Marion County, northern Marion County, as well as northwestern Horry County, Dillon County going into Darlington County, and also northern Florence County. We also do have drought going on in Allendale County going into Bamberg, southwestern Orangeburg, and even very far western Hampton County, right there on the border of Allendale. There is an abnormally dry that takes over all of the Midlands, all of the PD, Grand Strand, that's not inside the drought already. Oconee County now has a bit of an abnormally dry, and then the Tri-County region of Berkeley and Dorchester County, Colleton, Hampton, and Jasper, northern Jasper County now has an abnormally dry out. So, that's what's going on there. And that's all that I have to say for tonight. So, again, if you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, make sure that you go on and do so. Also hit the share button as well. Share it with all of the people that you know. We are at 584 subscribers, trying to get to that main goal of 600. Thank you to whoever just hit the subscribe button. 16 away from that main goal of 600. So please go on and hit the subscribe button if you have not already. We're here almost every single night at 9 p.m. and also every single morning as well, around like 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning is when the morning forecast update comes out. But that's all. Top fans for tonight. Mr. Chris at number 1, my Aunt Lula's at number 2, and then my cousin Cheryl's at number 3. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans for tonight. Inside of the chat right now, because we actually do have some more chats. My cousin Cheryl says, good evening, weatherman. Sorry I'm late. I'm working, but I'm listening. Today was pretty nice in Philly. I hope everyone had a great day, and please have a wonderful weekend. Love you all, Cheryl. Thank you so much for that comment. I'm glad that you're listening to us tonight. My Aunt Lula then says, thank you. I've got to finish all my planning before the first frost. Great. I've got some time. Yes, you do, in fact, have some time. You have some time. And then Mr. Chris says, when should they issue a red flag? Red flag warnings are only issued if it's dry outside and the wind is picking up. That causes a fire concern. The drought does not. The drought doesn't have anything to do with the red flag warning. Red flag warning is for dry conditions. Even though, well, I mean, I guess the drought has something to do with dry conditions, but I'm talking about it's dry and it's windy outside, and just overall, it's just dangerous to burn anything. But for now, no, they probably won't issue it unless something like that happens. But I will be back tomorrow morning with your Friday morning forecast update. We only have to get through tomorrow, and we will be at the weekend. So let's go on and get through again tomorrow morning.